Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Forman, and today we have Graham Smith with us from SMTH Shapes, and we want to talk about some of Graham's models. Next up is the Volume, high performance shortboard.
Sweet. Yeah, so basically the Volume is one of Geordie's go-to boards. He's developed this board, you know, he's worked through the whole, getting this bottom to really work well for himself. Hawaii, he uses it, you know, waves of consequence, obviously, cave rock, new pier when it's really banging, you know, 6 foot or so. And what he mentioned to me was we didn't want to have too much concave running through the front of the board, with regards to the bottom, and a neutral rocker, obviously, and most probably just 3/16 concave on the mid-drift of the apex on the bottom deck, and really pronouncing the double to single concave in the back really deep, allowing the water to push itself through, lift the tail of the board, you know what I mean, and get up and to the top of the water and to loosen it up basically. It's not a fuller board, although this is a board that we've kind of opened up the nose, opened up the tail for the conditions that you have around here.
Yeah.
But invariably, it's a super high performance board, basically. But then we can change anything, you know, we can do anything, adapt to anything. But this is Geordie's go-to board in Hawaii for sure. J Bay or Durban, you know, New Pier or the Bay of Plenty or wherever. And
that's crazy to hear. I mean, that board in all of those different waves, you know, like those waves of consequence, because like we got guys riding that thing here in like 2 foot.
Yeah, they're loving it.
You know, in the same board.
Well, that's what Geordie said. Just open it up a bit, Dad. Open up put a little bit of volume in the nose, because he does have volume up in the front of his nose. Obviously, because the nose is a little bit narrower. But with these, we've opened them up a bit there. We've opened them up in the tail to get them to float and glide a lot easier, you know, through flat sections. And I think because he rides it a lot, the question's always been, I want a volume. So, and then the guy would say, you know, I'm 90 kgs or something, you know, so then we've got to beef it up a little bit. But we still want it to perform, you know, it's kind of it's not really a fun performance, but we've moved that direction because the customer has insisted on wanting a volume, you know, so we just can't send them something that's really pulled in, and you need a wave to push it really hard, you know. It's that's what we've done with these.
So let's flip this thing over and look at the bottom. So you know, typically shortboards, squash tails, you're looking at thrusters, right? So what was your thought when you added in the quads on this one?
Well, we added the quads in because we've opened up the whole area.
Okay.
So it gives a different option for the person who's buying the board, basically.
Right.
When you're using a thruster, you definitely get more swing, you know, more cut back. You can pull it back up into the white water, opposed to a quad. Quads, I find, is more down the line. You're getting the speed, you're chasing the barrel riding, you know, so you'd set it up as a quad. So that's what we've done with this. And Geordie predominantly likes to ride them as thrusters.
Right.
But because this tail's been opened up a lot for these conditions, smaller conditions, a little bit weaker conditions, you know, we've added the quad system to it.
So the quad, is the quad going to give it, you know, just a little bit more range on the bottom and the top? Like, you know, kind of in the flatter surf, but then maybe in the more hollow surf as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in the hollow surf, when you're driving down the line, the first 2 fins compress water, and when you have your other 2 fins behind it, it compresses it in the second stage. So it's a primary and then a secondary compression, and it lifts and it gives the board squirt. So that's what the quad setup does, opposed to the thruster setup, because you're pulling it back all the time underneath you into cuddies and off the tops, you know what I mean?
Right.
Opposed to the quad is more pushing down the line, you know?
More linear speed.
Exactly, more linear speed.
Awesome. Well, hey, Graham, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate the kind of insights on the Volume model. If anybody out there has any questions on the SMTH Volume or any of the other SMTH shapes, you can always give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Graham, thanks for joining us, and thanks for tuning in.
Sweet.